Hello everyone, welcome back to another club interview. I'm here in Stockholm today with Christina, and this is going to be a good one, so listen up. So Christina, tell us a little bit more about yourself, your role at the club, and yeah.
Sure. So as you said, my name is Christina, and I was the one that was, organizing the course from our side. I'm also an active member in our club, and our club is based in Stockholm.
That's amazing. And just for context to the people also, you can just tell them a little bit more about the club and history of the club. Like, it's really close to the city center here.
It's super close to the city center. Yeah, so our club was founded in 1880, so it's been around for a little while. We are really bang slap in the middle of Stockholm.
Yeah.
A 10-minute walk from the city center.
Really good location.
Very nice location. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, you can't really get a better location, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And this is also where the 1912 Olympics was held. Which is pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. The only club in Sweden that have held an Olympic game. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So now that you guys know a little bit more about that, I want you, Christina, to tell us a little bit more about the situation of the club before we got started, before we ran this program that we did together. So tell us a little bit more about how was everything looking here at the club.
Yeah, sure. No, so we've always been around for a while, and we have a reasonable structure, I would say. We have basically different groups that cover different ages, I would say mainly, as well as some levels of ambition. Where we're quite strong is at the junior level, as well as sort of the masters level. We also have quite a large group of people that sort of exercise, or use rowing as a form of exercise. But then we have a bit of a gap, which is generally younger people that maybe aren't representing the club outside of, maybe the local area. So that's kind of, I guess, the situation.
Yeah. And I remember this when we got in touch, you guys wanted to bring more, basically young adults that are like here at the club, train, and also represent the club out on competitions, because it's good to have masters training out, and it's good to have these youngsters, but you also want to have people that wear your club's clothes and just go to competitions and dominate everyone.
Exactly.
So yeah, and what would you say, Christina, were the main reasons for that situation, and what would you say was also the main challenges you were facing in order to attract people and to have them here at the club?
I think the main challenges that we were having are really twofold. One is sort of actually the retention angle. So I think we are really, really lucky in the sense of that people do want to come to our club to row. I mean, partly because of the location and rowing is a fantastic sport. But I think the problem is that they don't stay after maybe, say, they've done a course, and a lot of it's after, unfortunately, the winter training. Our winters are really long here, so people drop off.
I think also, like, just like you said, first of all, like just Sweden, the winter is super long, so the issue becomes even bigger. But I think this is something that a lot of clubs face. Like, people obviously love to be out on the water, have fun during the summer, but then when winter comes, you need to have some other structure in order to retain them.
Exactly.
So that's common.
So that's one element that I think we struggle with, and I'm sure other clubs struggle with as well. The other one was really like pinpointing younger adults to join the club, but also again retain themselves, like stay in the club for the long term. And I think that's just been really difficult for us. How do we find these young people that either are have done rowing before, or maybe do another sport at a higher level, and instead want to convert them obviously to the best sport, rowing?
And Christina, just again, once again for context, can you tell us a little bit more what the club was doing when it comes to attracting people? What were you doing before that? Like, what strategies? what was the main way of attracting new members?
I mean, I would say the main way was probably through a beginners course that we hold in the spring. That's really the only way in, I would say, to our club if you're joining as an adult. I'd say that's probably really the only thing that we kind of actively did we also do hold some like company events and that kind of thing. And we obviously are like an icon out here in Djurgården, but I mean, beyond that, I would say we didn't do very much.
Yeah. And how do people find out about these programs that you run, these beginner programs?
So they are posted on our website as well as social media, so Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. So that's and I think also that a lot of clubs are doing the same, and I think also that's why you guys were having a hard time bringing this younger demographic, because most of the people like actively searching for new activities are maybe people that are a little bit older, they have maybe a little bit more time, so then they are like, oh, what's the best sport, or like, I like nature, what can I do? And then maybe they get like a answer from Google, like try rowing, and they're like, oh, rowing. Like, let me search that, and then they actually, so the process of like someone finding out about your club is super long. And I think just like how youngsters work now, or like how this younger demographic works, is that their attention span is super short.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So if they don't like, if you don't get right in front of them, then it's there's
game
like
over.
There's no way of getting them to be at your club, because they can do so much other stuff out there.
Yes.
And now that we know a little bit more about your situation, how do you think this? How did this feel for actually the club members and the board being at this situation?
I mean, obviously it's not great. To be in that kind of situation. So I guess we just felt that we sort of had to take action on it and maybe try something new. To see if we could sort of overcome the issues that we've been facing.
Yeah. And do you remember, Christina, if there was things that you wish you could do back in the days, but you couldn't really do because you didn't have this like type of demographic, and you didn't go out on competitions?
I think that was probably the main thing that felt that we couldn't really do, is to represent the club at sort of the senior competing sort of level. Both, I mean, you know, both regionally as well as nationally, and maybe even internationally as well. That was probably like the biggest thing.
No, I totally get that. And do you think that had maybe a negative impact to the rest of the members here, that maybe don't want to like race but just are here at the club?
Yeah, I mean 100%. I think, you know, I mean there's also a very big like social aspect to rowing as well. So if you don't have people that are within your demographic, then it doesn't create like a very fun environment. And like it is fun to do sports with people like your same age and also ambition level. So I think not having people within that age range has created some issues as well for our juniors that kind of climb up and get over to 18. What do we do with them? And then of course like not having people out competing, I think that can also just sort of make it hard for people that do say want to compete. Like where do they go, or like who can they compete with? Because it's way more fun to compete with people in a boat than by yourself. So of course it creates problems. I think you really just covered it really nice there. And something that you said there that I wanted to also bring up is that if you like have a gap within some kind of ages, then it becomes even harder. Like even if you have one or two people, then it's just like too little of a group. Too small, way too small.
So these people are training maybe with the masters, or with people that are like much older than them, and then obviously it just becomes not as fun as doing it with people in their age, and they eventually stop, which is like which is not nice. It's not 100%. Nice, absolutely. And then the competitions, obviously, like if you want your club to be presentable and be out and actually get good results, you want to be in competitions. That's something that I know a lot of clubs we have been in touch with really value, to actually like, you know, the club has a good name, that 100%. We have good rowers out there on competitions.
Exactly.
And that's it when it comes to negative stuff. Now, let's talk a little bit more about how you got. Let's talk a little bit more about how you guys got in touch with us. Do you remember that, Christina?
Yeah, so I think you and your brother, you did like a presentation at a conference earlier on in the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's good. I remember
right.
things broadly. That's good. And then, we spoke to you then, and I think I also heard from one of our board members that maybe you guys had a conversation, and then we just, I don't know, picked it up from there.
Yeah, exactly. That was basically how it worked. And do you also remember now these first meetings we were having, like how the process were and like what you guys thought about this whole thing and this whole programs that we run with other clubs? Do you remember that?
I mean, and I think, well, what do I remember? I think generally speaking, it felt kind of like an easy thing to get started with.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've done it many times before, so you kind of knew how to go about it.
Yeah.
So we felt that we had trust, I guess, in you, to help us sort of do it at our club. Yeah.
And then obviously, like my next question here is like, honestly, when you run these big programs and when you have a lot of people involved within the club, it's not always like, even if the process is easy, it's not always easy to get everyone on board on 100%. The vision and get everyone at the same page. So do you remember what the main fears or doubts you had when we got started? What were they?
I mean, I think a lot of people, quite frankly, had questions. I mean, that's not so strange. I mean, I think one of the things was obviously, wow, how do we deal with so many people? Yeah. How can we, you know, like, do we have the capacity at our club? Not just from like, you know, do we have the boats, the right types of boats for beginners? Do we have enough leaders to be able to sort of manage the workload? Yeah. And yeah, I mean, just how is it going to work? Because obviously we have a functioning sort of club that has other groups, and how do we fit them in? How do we fit everything in? So I think it's a bit of a like puzzle. Yeah, and just for you guys watching this that don't know like what amount of people we are talking about, so we were talking about running this program with 80 people, and then we ended up running with 85. So quite big, and I think also from what we talked before, usually you were running your programs with much smaller, with around 10 people kind of thing. So it's a big step to take, and and of course it's also like everyone has their own like doubts and fears, and when you have a lot of people within a board, everyone has their own like opinions and everything. Also, something that we didn't mention is actually that even though the club is super nicely located close to Stockholm, that's also like it has like a backside on that thing, because there are a lot of boats that are passing by here, and you guys maybe heard some of the boats that are passing by here, and it's a quite narrow stretch of water.
So I think that was maybe something from our side that we were like, bringing in people, we also need to have like take care of them and make sure that they are secure and safe throughout the program. So that was something that we were talking a lot in the beginning, but I think then it turned out really, we solved it and it turned out really well. Now that you know a little bit more about the fears and the doubts, what do you think, Christina, was the main reason that you guys said yes to running this program?
I think, well, one of the main reasons was that it wasn't very much of a, like, there wasn't that big of a risk, I guess, for the club to take. I think from my perspective, and you have done this many times before, you have the sort of experience and you also have a good structure in place. So I think we felt confident that we could follow that. And then, to be honest, like, why not just give it a go? Just sort of see what happens. And I think for us, we just had a very clear goal in mind with what we wanted to get out of the course, which we communicated with you. And so we thought, let's see if we can solve all our problems.
That's a really good point, Christina. And I think also, like, the thing that you mentioned, like, you don't have anything to lose, which is also a big reason why a lot of clubs end up running these programs. You don't have anything to lose, and also it's good to actually, if you have a problem that you haven't been able to solve, then it's okay to ask other people to help out. Some clubs, they are like super close and they're like, no, we're gonna fix this, and maybe you can fix it on your own. It's just that it's gonna take a lot of time, like much more time to fix it, and probably also gonna end up like spending some money on things that maybe didn't work, which I think most of the clubs want to avoid. So now that we know about all that, let's talk a little bit more about the results. So obviously the program is done now. That's why we have this interview. And in my opinion, it was a huge success. We had a lot of people here. Like I said before, we ended up having 85 people. So tell us a little bit more about that, Christina. How many people continued? How did you structure the continuing offer? So clubs out there can hear a little bit more about that and maybe get some inspiration also.
Sure. So out of the 85 participants that we had in the club, I would say just over half actually wanted to continue in some way, shape or form. For us, we decided to offer a continuation course, but we did max it out at 30 participants just because we felt that was best for us. But that also meant that we have another 10-15 participants that have then become sort of direct members into our club without then going into this course. So that's been really, really fantastic. And regarding the course, we decided to run an 8-week course. So that basically takes you up until the end of the year, pretty much. And again, it will follow quite a similar structure to the initial course. With focus on technique as well as some outdoor passes. We'll also do obviously some more indoor rowing now that we're moving towards winter. Exactly. But just a very sort of structured process. And we expect to get about 80,000 kroners sort of from the continuation course. Which is
good money for.
Which is great for us, because it allows us to invest further into our club as well, which is important for the long run.
No, that sounds really, really good, Christina. And also, do you remember how difficult it was to get these people? We ran the program. Did we have to push anyone to continue, or how did it feel?
No, oh gosh, no. It was actually really nice. We managed to fill the course within, I think, 2 or 3 days. And like people are still writing saying, "Oh, I want to become members." So so it was really, really easy to get people to continue.
And I think also the reason behind of that, like of course the structure and everything, but you guys did a really good job. You crushed it. Christina was actually the head coach here, and just like making sure that people feel like seen, they have fun when they are here, also row and learn the sport. But just if you get like these 3 things right, like obviously you should always like get more than 50% of your people wanting to continue, and that's exactly what we got. And like you mentioned, we didn't really have to push anyone because we set that goal, but I'm sure that if we wanted to fill up even more spots, we could do it quite easily.
I think so too.
Which is a good place to be, to have like people wanting to join the club. Now, how did that make you feel, Christina, you and the rest of the board, when you actually saw the results, you saw the people coming in?
I mean, honestly, it was quite exciting. I think the best thing is just really seeing that we have now a group of, call it 45 odd people that are like really engaged with the club, and like, they really want to give rowing a good shot. And I think, we're gonna see that some of them will definitely want to go and continue to compete. So hopefully next summer, you'll see some of them out in the competitions in Sweden. I think it's just like it brings kind of like a new energy to the club, which is really fun. A bit more life back into it.
Exactly. And just to talk a little bit about like the people that we brought here, I think that we really had like people that I can see competing in the future. So
100%.
A lot of these people like had trained before, they were active, and it's really nice to like just be able to get them all to a group. And like we were discussing also, we were discussing a lot about like what the size of the group should be, and we ended up having 30 people, which is also like a good size of a group to actually retain these people, because if you have like too few people on the continuation program, then maybe 1 or 2 drop of them, and then everyone else notice that, and then they're like, oh, maybe this is not that fun as I thought, and then eventually like people start dropping out. But I think having 30 people, it's like a good size, and a lot of these people are gonna end up continuing throughout the winter. That's what we have seen.
Hope so.
That's what we have seen on the other clubs also. And now that we have these 30 people in the program and these other 10 people join the club, what do you think is going to be one thing that you can do with these people that you were not able to do before?
Well, I think the main thing is really providing them with very focused training, to be honest. Like really ensuring that they get like good one-on-one feedback so that they can really develop like the necessary skills to then hopefully get out and compete and represent the club next year. I think that's sort of the main thing that we really can give these participants is like proper time. And they should develop like really, really quickly as well.
Yeah, and also something that we basically almost forgot to mention is like the whole coaching situation and everything. And I think the biggest difference now with this program that you guys are running is that it's also coaches that are involved within it.
That's true.
And I think that alone is going to make a big difference 100%. On retaining people throughout the winter. So having coaches that actually tell people what they should do and also run them through a program is what makes people actually want to be there and want to compete. Because if you do the hard training, then of course you want to show off and go to competitions and win people. Exactly. So I think that's a big plus also. And Kristina, you can tell us a little bit more about where did we find these coaches and how many of the coaches that actually were part of the program are now continuing to help out on the continuation also.
So to find the coaches, we really just kind of handpicked, I guess, some people from within our organization. So we reached out to people that broadly had a little bit more experience, either with rowing or actually had coaching experience from before, but maybe weren't an active coach today. And we just sort of, spoke to them, kind of told them about the concept and just like, made them feel very excited about the whole thing. And that they were part of something quite big and fun. So I think from those conversations, they came on board. In the end, I think we had around 15 coaches to cover sort of the 4-week course. And from that, I think we are 7 coaches now that are doing continuation course, and we are all except for 1 from the original course. So that's a pretty decent conversion rate.
So exactly, and that's exactly like you said. Like obviously you have coaches that are helping out throughout the program, and then maybe not everyone is going to continue helping out after the program because they have other stuff, other work, obviously. But it's really good that you start with like a big number, then you still have like a lot of coaches to help out run the continuation. 100%. Because without coaches,
it just doesn't work.
Nothing works. And also I remember, just like you said in the beginning, and you are not alone on this one, but all the clubs are like, oh my God, how are we going to find coaches? But honestly, like the easiest way is just like ask people at the club. You can also ask people at clubs around you, just so you make sure that you have the coaches here. And obviously you don't need that many coaches that we had, but it's a good thing to have them because they go through the education, they are here, so they get a good let's call it practice on actually coaching people. And then if they want to continue, that's great. If they don't, that's still really good for the club that they helped out with the
and for the individuals.
And for them also. Exactly. Getting some knowledge, getting some experiencing with coaching. Now, what would you say, Kristina, these people that you brought in, how are they going to affect the rest of the members here? Is this going to be something positive for them?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think I sort of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but these people bring in sort of, I think, a new energy and excitement for the sport. And I think that it kind of has a bit of a spillover effect onto every other member that, they would maybe feel more excited about rowing and maybe, reaching another level. And I think also it just creates like a nice community feeling as well, that you want to sort of bring everyone in and you want them to be part of the club.
Exactly. And just watching back on the thing that we talked on the beginning, that was the main issue, just like getting people excited and wanting to go out on competitions. If you see people competing, then
you follow after.
Then it's like, I haven't never done it, but you know what? There are 10 people or 15 people that are competing from that group. Maybe I can just drive with them to the competition and do that. It takes much more energy to do it, to be the one or one of 2 being at the 100%. Competition than being one of 20, 30 people.
100%.
So that's awesome also. And I'm really looking forward to see these people next year to the regattas.
Same.
So it's going to be really fun. And obviously we have done this program with other clubs here in Sweden, and the people that we had from last year have started competing, so it's going to be fun also to see people compete against each other that have run this program.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's also probably the funniest for them, because if you go against like people that have rode for many years, you're probably going to get like smoked. But
you never know. You never know.
I mean, if you go on these like singles on the boats that are like a lot of technique, but if they go in a crew boat, maybe they stand a chance. But let's say if you go like against someone that have rode one more year than you, then you absolutely can like go ahead and beat them from your first competition, which is fun. All right, so we are back. The camera on the battery died, so sometimes those things happen, but nevertheless, Christina had a nice session. I was just waiting out here, and now we are back at it. So, Christina, my next question was, what would you say to a club watching this, and maybe they are on the fence or they don't really know if this is something good for them? What would you tell them?
I think that as long as you have a sort of purpose set out for the course that you want to run, and you have sort of communicated that and to like set up a good structure for that, then to be honest, I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't run the course, because you might actually solve some of the issues that you've not been able to before. And yeah, like we said before, it's a very sort of quite an easy course to implement. Obviously, Ruben and Amit have great experience and have done so much work to put this structure in place. So, it's really a very sort of low risk sort of thing to really, do, or at least give it a go. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah,
that's the idea of it, to just make it as like low risk as possible and see this as a trial. Like, you've done your thing the whole time, you can try something else out. Yeah, exactly. And do you think, Christina, that there is a certain type of club that can benefit more than another, like a big club or a small club, or what do you think on that question?
No, definitely not. I mean, you can be any, I think, club size. You will sort of adjust the course to fit your club size, and we've talked about it before, but smaller clubs might face certain issues versus larger clubs, but that can all sort of be solved.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like different types of problems you have. Like if you're a little club, then you need to have enough coaches to run the program. If you're a big club, then you just need to like have the
the logistics, the puzzles.
Play around like what times can we find so everyone can be here and train, which both of these are problems that can be solved. Now the last question and the most exciting question, what are the next steps for you guys? Now you have brought these people, you have made sure that they are actually happy, they want to be at the club, and what are you going to do now to take this that we already have built and just like take it to the next level? What do you think?
So I mean, the very immediate next step is that we're starting our continuation course in a few days, which is going to be super exciting. So obviously the focus for that will be to really provide a structured sort of training session for the participants and really like ensure that they get like proper one-on-one feedback, and also when they're out in a boat as a team, just make sure that they all get essentially feedback to improve the rowing as soon or as quickly as possible. So I think that's sort of the really immediate step with that sort of group, and then of course once the course is done, we'll hopefully be able to either do another continuation course to continue building on like the foundation that we've already done, or we might bring them into our like sort of club organization, but we'll sort of see how we take that later on. The other aspect of it is, of course, we have a bunch of participants from the course, the original one, the first one, that now have become members without doing the course, and it's really important to keep those guys engaged and feel like they are part of a wider community. So it's just really focused on making them feel welcome and excited to continue as well, because like the issue we've obviously had has been retention in the long run. So making sure that they don't fall away now, especially now as we go into winter.
Exactly. And I think we mentioned this before, but like just the group size, like if you have a small group, like retention is going to be a big problem, because like people drop out during the winter. If they see that their friend drops out or someone else, then it becomes like, oh, maybe I was wrong about this, maybe rowing is not that fun after all. But if you have a big enough group that you guys are having now with 30 people, then it's much harder for people to like, even if someone drops out, like what, there are 29 more people, you don't even notice it, which is great for retention. Well, that said, Kristina, thank you so much for this interview. It took some time to get it, to fix everything, but nevertheless, we got it done. And thank you also for running the program. It was a pleasure to be here with you guys and run this. And now for you guys watching this, I'm going to link a link below this if you want to actually see more how these programs work, and if you want to maybe run one of these programs yourself, you can click on the link and then it's going to take you to the application page. If you're watching this on the website, you can press on the button and you can see if you qualify to run one of these programs, and if you do so, then we would be happy to get in touch with you and talk more about it. So that said, have a nice day, evening, wherever you are.
Bye.
Bye bye.